because most of the time you may actually need to research yourself. Sometimes when you are faced with bringing data from some peculiar data sources, you may have to go research, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? Because some databases are not very directly workable with Power BI. And the thing is, most places of work, they find Power BI quite in quote sexy to use. It's like a nice brand new, not really new anymore, toy, you know. Every organization wants to, almost every organization wants to own. Okay, so uh they would always want you to find a way around it. And when you are faced with something that you're thinking, how do I do this? Thank God there is a knowledge is so much like pure water out there now. In the times that we live in, you can easily look for research and find, what you need, the how to do what you need to do. Okay. And I think that's what you would find yourself doing most of the time when you're faced with different tasks at work. As you carry on with the work, there would be an element of you going to either chat or Google or YouTube or any of those research places to check. I need to calculate the year-to-date measure for this. How do I do it? This is what I have. You will find yourself doing that. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually you leveraging the tools you have to get the result that you desire, and to also make yourself more efficient and to save time. Okay, so yesterday we did look at how to bring data into Power BI from all these different sources. I believe we looked at Excel, Power BI semantic model, data flows. We tried Dataverse, SQL analysis services we didn't have access to, but we could see how that worked. Text files, web, we saw how that works. All data feed. This, if we have time, I believe we would have time. We can use this to bring the Northwind data in and try and do some analytics work, on it. We saw how to use the blank query in different ways by, as it says, it's blank, and you're just gonna have to copy your own code into it. And if you have that ready, that works well. If you are the type that's a whiz at this and you want to type your code yourself, if you know how to, even great, as well. And we have, I say, Power BI template apps. You could be bringing data in from there, but I'm going to go into more. Well, like I said, we won't be exploring all. There's quite a lot. If I scroll down, there's quite a lot, so we won't be looking at all of them. And that's because you won't necessarily be needing, all of these data sources. PDF, just like you would Excel. If you have a PDF file, you can bring it in, just like you will bring a Excel and text file in, as well. But the one that I want to concern us with today is SharePoint. I don't think we necessarily have a SharePoint. I may be wrong, you know. On the SharePoint, we have the SharePoint folder and the SharePoint online list. I use these two online list. I use the top two mostly. SharePoint folder is when you have a few files within a folder and they have the same structure. You can easily combine them all together when you bring it in. That's when that works well. So let me click on it. I click on that and it's telling me to connect to the SharePoint that I want to connect with. Now, for you to connect to a SharePoint, you have to have the URL. This is where you then go into the SharePoint and copy the the URL of that, SharePoint. Of course, you would need to, it would prompt you. I don't have a URL for one now, but it would prompt you to sign in either as an anonymous, as an organizational, with your organization ID, and for work, of course, you'll use your organization ID. And then you can paste the URL for that SharePoint, the SharePoint home, and navigate. It will give you a few lists. You'll see the level at which you want to navigate, and then you click OK. It brings in the navigator pane again, and you can combine if you need to combine. Shame that I don't have a SharePoint, and we should have. I think Mr. Azim made us one, but I can't search for it right now. And the SharePoint online list is not different. The only difference is in the case of the online list, you are just bringing in, you are not combining many folders, many files that are within a folder. You are just bringing in a particular file, and you can walk through. Of course, it will, after you have brought it in, it will take you into Power Query, because you would need to transform, and then you can do the rest of the transforming gig that we are used to. Okay. Now, one last thing about data, bringing data into Power BI is that it's not every time that you bring data from an external source. Sometimes you might need to manually enter data, and that's where let me cancel that and explain as I do it. And that's where you use this table under home. I think it could be under modeling. I think it's also under somewhere else. Yeah, it's also under, if you go into the table view, it's also here under home. Okay. But here, wherever you are, it's under home, and it has this plus sign by the, like a plus sign beats the top left corner of a square, so you can enter data manually. Okay, so you are creating a table. Say you have a table that you feel like can quickly enter this. It's not that many, okay? So you can put the name of the header, the column header, as many as possible. I'm double clicking, by the way, to do that, and I double click here, enter row 1, whatever the information for row 1 is. I type it in, and you can keep typing for as much as you need to enter. Okay. After all of that is done, you can give the table a proper name and just load. Okay. Let's say I just give this just any name, say any table. Okay, let's assume. Okay, you can, well, there's no need to edit. Let me click. I've never clicked on edit for it. Let me click on edit, see what it would do. Okay, just like transform, it brings me here to the Power Query, brings it to the Power Query to be edited. But truth is, I could have edited before clicking on edit. I could have easily edited there. Okay, so but after typing, you could have clicked on load, and it will just bring the table in, and you can see each time you close and load, click or yeah, if you load your data either from Power Query or from directly bringing in, you see your table on the top far right end, of the screen of your Power BI desktop. Okay, so that is the last way that I want to show us. I'm going to delete this because it's not relevant. So I'm going to say delete from model. that was just to show us how to manually enter data in Power BI. Okay, so whatever source you need to, I believe we've covered quite a lot of the sources that you would be encountering, when you are faced with bringing data into Power BI. Now, for us to do serious work, I want us to work on the Northwind data, simply because I believe it would make it seem like we are actually bringing in data from a database, but we are going to be using the link we used yesterday, the old data feed, okay? The old data link rather. I want to believe I dropped it. Yes, I did. I dropped it again in the chat. It's actually on our data platform. So I'm going to copy this link now, because that's what we will use to bring in data from the Northwind data, which we will study together to understand it. And we should be together working on what the business need, or the business objective we want to work on, what we really want to analyze within that data. I believe when we understand it together, we can suggest the business requirements that can come from it, and then we can properly start work on it. Up to this point, do we have any question? Shall we continue? I paused on the one we were doing before that I shared before, because I could see quite a lot of things wrong with that data set. And that's because of the way that I generated it. It was initially generated just for us to deal with data quality issues that you could find. And I believe it did that for us. But further analysis on it may just be a bit of a waste of time. So I thought, let's find the proper data that we would actually gain from knowledge-wise. So that's why we didn't need to carry on with that. So we're starting a fresh report now, and it's the Northwind data set, which is popular, like I said, for learning data analytics. Okay. Now,
Yes, are you sharing the data again today? Because some of us were not here yesterday.
It's on the what's it called?
The one on the platform.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. And it's in the chat now as well.
Oh,
I've just copied from the chat. Can you see
it? Not yet. Yes, I can.
You can see it. Okay.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So we're going to get data. And because we've established that it's an open data feed, it says import from all data feed. It's an open data feed. Okay. It's an internet data set. Okay, I'm going to click on.
The BA wants a breakout room, please. Sorry.
Do we have co-hosts or someone?
No, it's just you.
It's just me. Okay, let me quickly make you. Okay, so you are co-host now, sis. And the side beating me too.
All right, cool.
So that should make that go seamlessly. Okay. The more co-hosts we have, the better.
All right.
Okay. So we've clicked on the all data feed, and it's asking for the URL, which is the link that I've just copied from the chat. I'm going to paste that link here now, and we see there it is. Okay, I will okay that, and let's connect. So it's taking us through the navigator, where we can see all the different tables within this database. Okay, most of the time when you connect to a database, you will see a lot of tables. As a new employee, you may not necessarily understand the data, especially if you're new to the field as well. So there should be someone taking you through these tables, what they stand for, what they mean. It shouldn't be that you are just thrown to the deep end to go and make sense of things yourself. That is wrong practice. I'm not saying they don't do it, but that's not fair on you. Okay, so there should be, except for maybe data sets or tables like the sales data, we are quite, quite conversant with. But even at that, there could be a few columns within each table that you may not necessarily understand the rationale behind why they did what they did to achieve what they achieved with it with that column, and you would need explaining. And again, that is when until you understand the logic behind how they reasoned their data and all of that. Please put this slide on. Okay, so sorry about that. Until you understand their reasoning, the business logic behind certain data, that you would be using, you may not use it correctly for them. You may not put things in the right context. Okay, so that need is necessary, and you should actually demand it. Okay, so we are now within the back end of this database, which we are getting from an open data feed. We connected using a URL link, which we all have now. Okay, and we can see, you can look as you click on each of these tables, you can see a preview of what you have here. This is a list, an alphabetical list of all the products here. Okay, I believe it's the same as what we have here would exactly be the same as what we have within the products table. Okay, it's giving us product information. Okay, the only difference is this one says alphabetical list. So these are listed alphabetically, but they're not listed alphabetically here, but they are basically the same information. So rather than go for this first table, I'm gonna go for the products for in this case, because we are about to analyze the orders, sales, profits, costs, all the different KPIs that come with retail data and the products or services that are sold within such organization is going to be needed. Again, this is a bit awkward because the first step normally would be that you get the business question. Okay. For example, it should have been something like you've had a meeting with a stakeholder, maybe the store manager or operations manager, who is trying to understand, okay, what's happening. Maybe they want to, it's the end of the year, and they want to give awards, employee performance dashboard or report is needed, okay, for the year that they are in. How do you do that if you don't go into the data and look at how each employee has performed, or how each product has performed towards the profit you've made for that year, and how you would then prepare for the coming year or the coming years. So we will need the products, definitely. Okay. If we're going to be analyzing categories of products as well, we may bring in the categories table as well. Okay. Of course, customers, we want to see how our customers contributed, and we want to see how our employees did as well. Okay. And then others, of course, is from the other tables that will get most of this, most of our KPIs. Okay. And there is an other details here. Let's see if it would be possible to use the tool, say maybe further details about others is what this would be about, if I'm right. Okay. Um, do we want to analyze region-wise as well? Maybe by the countries and territories. Okay. Any of these that we end up not needing, we can always remove. Okay. Again, remember you are getting this data based on the questions that you want to use that dashboard to answer. Okay. So I'm picking suppliers, I'm picking the shippers as well. Okay. With the assumption, that those are part of what we have been told to analyze. Um, and these are the major scanning through now. The rest are category sales for 1997. I don't want to see that. Current product list, okay? Should that be what we had looked at? This is just product list, okay? Product ID and product name, and that's it. So I won't be bringing that in because we have more information actually from products already. So there's no need to double, double bring data in that regard. Customer and suppliers by city. Okay, I want to believe again that in the customers table, we have their cities. Yeah, we have city information. We have country information and the likes. Okay, invoices. What could be in invoices? Okay, we won't be bringing that in because and we again assumption that we haven't been asked to use that information. Other subtotals, why are we doing subtotals when we can get that from the others table, which we have already picked. So you see that most of the rest of the tables here will just be a duplicate or repetition, of the tables that we have already picked. And I know that because we've actually looked into these data sets quite a few times. Maybe sometimes we didn't necessarily come get the data using this method. Other times, maybe once we have. Okay, so we've gotten our data. We've looked into the backend, the database. We've picked the tables we believe are relevant to this report. Okay, but because there are further work, transformational work to be done on this, we are not going to load straight away. Loading straight away just brings everything straight into Power BI desktop. That's not what we want to achieve. We actually want to look into all of these data sets and see if if there are some columns to take out, some to retain, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to click on transform data. Okay, and that brings us into the Power Query. I should remember this time around to, when we finish, to actually save properly this work so that we don't lose it. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have auto save. Save the current report. Let me click on that. I've not seen that before in okay, save this file. Okay, no, that's not what I want to. I want to actually finish work and save the whole, not just Power Query, the whole reports, together. Okay. But yes, now we have product table. And now your job now is to look through each of these tables to understand your data sets more and to see what is relevant to your end results and what is not, what needs to come off and what needs to be retained. Okay, that's what you see. We've got all of this. This is the products table giving us product ID information. Might want to use the column distribution just to give us more information on what's happening And should we profile based on the entire data set as well? I hope that doesn't. Okay, so this shows us that we have which it should be, because we are in the products table, and this is the product ID, and it's the primary key here. So it should all be distinct and it should all be unique, meaning they all appear just once. And yeah, we've got 77 values here. So which means there are 77 products that this company called Northwind sells. Okay. These are their names. None of them is repeated as well, which is good. Okay. Now, you can also look through, okay, and see. Okay, but the fact that you can see the information here would tell you that this is correct, this is right. Okay. And this is a proper data set. It's not like the last one that was generated using AI, and we were just going up and down on, since this is this many, this should also be the same. That's not the case here, because this is a proper data set actually. Okay, then we have within here, we have the supplier ID. The suppliers we get these products from. Okay, and we can see their IDs are repeated. Okay, and if we go into the actual suppliers table, there's just 3 of them. Okay, which the IDs are 1, 2, 3. The actual company names are Speedy Express, United Package, Federal Shipping. Those are the ones that help us to ship these products to the owners. Okay, phone, and then the whole others table. Now, this is common to databases. You bring a table in and another whole table is residing within it. What I normally do is that instead of expanding that, we don't want to expand it. Okay, I'm going to take that out because it's just going to mess up with our work. We don't need others table. We have our others table here already. We don't need it in suppliers table. Okay, so we have information here about our suppliers. While we are here, sorry, shippers, I keep saying suppliers, about our shippers. While we are here, the shippers, we've got 3 of them that we work with, okay, that help us to ship our products. These are the IDs that we've given them in our databases. These are their names. These are their contact details, right? So there's just 3 of them. While we are in the shippers table, the shipper ID is a primary key. But when we go to products table, we can see the I'm mixing things up. I thought this was supplier and shippers are mixing up. You are going to have to bear with me. Let me do that again. Now, suppliers are repeated here. Okay, this is the table I should be looking at. Okay, now the suppliers of these products that we have, okay, we have 29 suppliers. So supplier ID that we have 29 distinct and 29 unique, which means 29 values are occurring here, and all of them are occurring once, which is how it should be. Because the supplier ID, while it is in the supplier on the suppliers table, is a primary key here. Okay, and we can see the name of each of these suppliers: Exotic Liquids, New Orleans, Grandma Kelly's Homestead, Tokyo Traders, and so on and so forth. They are the contact name, the contact person from that within that company that we have. These are their names. The title of those persons, like Charlotte Cooper, is a purchasing manager with Exotic Liquids. Okay, this is their address. This is the city that they reside in, the region, the postcode, the country, that they are in, their number, their contact number, and so on. And again, you see a whole product table now recited that we can take out. Okay, so these are common, like I said, with what you would find with databases. Okay, so while we are in this table, what I wanted to bring out is that while we are in the suppliers table, supplier ID is a key. It's a key because it's a communicator. It helps us to communicate. It's going to help us rather to communicate with other relevant other related tables. Okay, tables that have supplier ID in them, we can use this column to relate with them. Now, while we are in the suppliers table, supplier ID is a primary key. It will be on the one side of the relationship. You know how we have many to one, one to many when we are forming our relationship. One side, because all of the values here must not be repeated. They appear once. When we have duplicates, okay, had it been there's something telling us here that we've got a particular value that's duplicated, we would need to look into that. Why are we having duplicates of supplier ID on a supplier table? It is not right. So that we will need to flag that, okay, and correct it. Okay, and while we are in the products table, suppliers are appearing many times. Okay, there's just 3 of them. That is quite, there's 29 of the suppliers that we have in the products table. Where is it again? Yeah, there's 29 of them here as well. Okay, 29 distinct, that is, there are 29 values. Only 3 of them appear once. Only three of them have supplied products to us, just one product to us. The rest supply many products to us. That's the interpretation that I will give this. So while we are on here, the supplier ID becomes a foreign key, and that is why it can appear as duplicate. On this side, when we relate products table with suppliers table, if there's need to do that, suppliers will be the one side of the table, while products will be the many, because supplier is appearing here many times. Okay, that's how that is explained. On the same products table, we have category ID. Okay, that is category. This product table can also relate, can speak with categories table. Because we have category ID, in this category table, as well. On here, while we are in categories, table category ID is unique. Okay, it is primary key here. But when we get to products table and we find category ID there, it is a foreign key because it's the many side of the table. Okay, we have 8 values here, and all of them are repeated. None is appearing just once. All of them are repeated, okay? And if we come here, we do have 8 values, as well. Okay, so that's how to think data when you are analyzing data. It further tells us, and on the products table, this is good because we can see the ID of the product, the name of the product, who supplies it, which category does it belong to within our categories or category of products. How many per unit is there? Okay, the quantity that we have per unit. If we are selling as bag, we're saying there are 10 boxes in 20 bags. Okay, 24 to 12, I don't know what that is, bottles, okay, for the second one. Okay, the unit price, okay, the unit price. Now, is that cost price or sales price? It just says unit price. Is that how much we bought it for or how much we are expected to sell it by? As we keep digging into each of these tables, we will know. The units in stock, units in order, reorder level, is it continued or discontinued? You can see that. And like we have seen on other tables or in other tables before, then we now see a whole categories table, a whole other details table, a whole suppliers table, all on this table. We're not going to need those. If we expand them, we'll just mess about and complicate our work. So I'm going to remove those because they are not relevant. That is why it is necessary to bring your data to Power Query first and just check, because that preview that we checked earlier may not necessarily give you all the necessary picture that you need. Okay, so I'm going to remove these last two tables as well. Picture, okay, which is good. The picture, of the categories, and then another product table. Absolutely not necessary here. All we need is just this information about the categories, and that is the ID, the name, and the description. For example, beverages include soft drinks, coffee, teas, beers, and ales. Everything that every product that falls within that is called beverages. And sweets and savory sauces, relishes, spreads, and seasonings, those are condiments. Desserts, candies, and sweetbreads are confections, and so on and so forth. That makes proper sense. Okay. Then we come on to customers table. So far, in terms of the quality, data quality, there's really no cause for alarm. I don't think so far. We might find as we go forward. Now, this part of your job, you cannot afford to rush it. Okay, we need to take time, because even as you are looking through, it's helping you to understand the data even more. We come to the customers table and we can see that we have 91 customers. And as it should be in a customers table, the customer ID, which is the primary key, the distinct value and unique value are the same, meaning that all of the values appearing here are 91 and they are all appearing more. So there are no duplicates. And that is what I expect on a customers table. For customer ID information, it should all be unique, because we are in customers table, and their names as well, the actual name apart from the ID, are like that. Now, having said that, sometimes customers' names are the same, exactly spelled the same. So that is why names are not the best to use as key. That's why it's good to look for something unique, which are normally the IDs, because we may have 3 Maria Anders, and then the name will be telling us 91 distinct, and 91 minus 3 may be 89 that are unique, because no, 90 that are unique, because there's one that's appearing more than one time. Okay, so if the values here are different for name, it's because 2, 3, 4 people can bear the same name, so that's allowed. But it shouldn't be that for the column that you are using as your ID, as your unique column, for that table. Okay, then we have their contact title. Okay, so these customers are not necessarily individuals, they are company customers, and the contact name that we have for those companies, and their titles. Okay, that's the explanation behind that. And these addresses are the office addresses, not necessarily the addresses, the personal addresses of these people, because they are representing these companies. Okay. And the cities that those companies are, we can see the region. Now we have a problem with the region. Most of the regions are north here. Okay, so as we go on, we will see if it will be, that's a massive if, it will be easy to fix the nulls. We see that we have region ID, region description, and then territories. But we have territories here. So I see a kind of a work there that we need to do if there's need for us, of course, to analyze by region. We would need to look for ways to see what all these null regions are. Hopefully that will be possible. And then we can see the postal codes, countries, phone numbers, faxes, and all these ones are not necessarily important to your analysis work. We don't actually feature people's phone numbers, although these are companies, but I'm not going to be analyzing by phone number. That's not, it won't be relevant. It won't make sense. Okay, so that's why I'm removing phone number, fax, orders table, because that's a whole table, which we already have, like I said before. And customers demographics. I don't want us to use that as well. So we are going to remove those, okay? I'm going to let us go now. I've got a phone call, and we'll, so that we can save these, I'm going to close and apply, not because we are finished, no, but just so that I can save the work all together, and we'll continue from there when next we meet. I'm hoping that we all can go into, use that link, open our Power BI desktop and connect and get the work done up to the stage that we are right now. We are at the stage where we are trying to understand the data. You may want to, be asking yourself as well, what sort of analytics can we actually do, with this, so you may want to, let me save it in desktop, and there's file name, Northwind. Northwind report. Okay. Okay, so that is saved now. So as we carry on, any further work we do now, I'll just be clicking on this save here to save as we go. Because like I said, Power BI hasn't got auto save. Okay, so, but we'll stop there. Let's bring questions to class that we believe a stakeholder might want to get, from here. Up to this point, do we have any questions?
Yes, Valerie, thank you very much. Just as you close now, I missed it. Is it close and apply that you used?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I missed that part of when you were removing some columns from the tables, but I'll listen to it.
Yes, thank God it's recorded. But you just click on any, right click on any, on the top of any column you want to remove. And through the options that open up, remove column is there. Then you can click on remove column and it will remove it for you.
Yes, I was able to remove the picture, but what I'm saying is I don't know which ones you removed so that I'll have the same type or kind of data you have.
Results. Okay, okay, okay. Let me quickly show you.
Should I apply changes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, apply changes. So these are, for products, we removed, for product, we remove category, order details, and suppliers table. They are the last three that was here. Let me go back to the last step. So I removed this because it's a whole table. We don't want it a whole table here. So these three are not relevant. These last three here, they were removed. Do you get that?
Yes, I do. The last three.
And then categories as well. As we removed picture and products.
Okay.
Again, because if you look at the icon here, these are a whole table on its own that has been embedded here. They are not necessarily columns. Yeah, so it's going to mess up this table if we open them up. So that's why we removed them, these two. And I think we did the same for customers. We found some columns to remove from customers as well. If I go to the previous step, we removed, on the customer table, we found orders and customer demographics. And I said phone and fax are they're not necessary to keep. Phone number and fax. So we remove these last 4 on customers table. Those are the tables we've seen so far. Then we'll look at the rest in the next class. Then it's a close and apply. Okay, and then you save your work. And then we'll take it from there in the next class.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are welcome. Any other question?